Your mechanic just quoted you $1,400. New catalytic converter. Has to be done. Can't pass emissions. Sorry, nothing else I can do. But here's what he didn't tell you. A partially clogged converter, the kind that throws a P0420 code and kills your fuel economy, can often be cleaned. Not with tools, not with expensive shop equipment, with 20 minutes, a stretch of highway, and one cheap bottle of cleaner. This is the thermal phase protocol, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to run it and why most drivers never do. Stay with me because I'm also going to show you the 4 fixes that will actually destroy your engine faster than the clog itself. Welcome back to Auto Mastery, where we cut through the noise and give you real car knowledge that saves real money. Today, we're breaking down how catalytic converters actually get clogged, why most DIY fixes make things worse, and the one 20-minute protocol that uses chemistry and physics to burn the problem out from the inside. Let's get into it. Section 1. Why your converter is clogged. First, what's actually happening inside a clogged converter? Your catalytic converter runs at somewhere between 400 and 900 degrees Celsius when it's doing its job. At those temperatures, it's a self-cleaning system. Carbon burns off, phosphorus compounds from oil burn off, the precious metals inside, platinum, palladium, rhodium, stay clean and reactive. The problem? Most modern driving never gets it there. Short trips, cold starts, stop-and-go city traffic. If your daily commute is 15 minutes or less, your converter is spending most of its life below operating temperature. And every time that happens, unburned fuel and oil byproducts coat the substrate inside, layer by layer, day by day, until one morning you get a P0420 code. Power drops, fuel economy tanks, and a mechanic tells you the converter is done. Here's what most people do next, and this is where the real damage happens. Section 2. The 4 fixes that make it worse. Mistake 1. Premium fuel. Logical thinking. Higher octane, cleaner burn, cleaner exhaust, right? Wrong. High octane fuel resists ignition. That's its entire purpose. It contains no additional detergents, no extra cleaning agents. Running premium in a car that doesn't require it does nothing for a clogged converter. Nothing. You're paying 30 cents more per liter for zero benefit to the exhaust system. Waste of money. Move on. Mistake 2. Acetone or lacquer thinner in the tank. You've probably seen this online. The idea is that powerful solvents will dissolve the carbon buildup. Here's the mechanical reality. Before those solvents ever reach your exhaust system, they pass through your fuel system. And modern fuel systems contain rubber seals, polymer components, and evap system parts that are not designed to handle aggressive chemical solvents. The result? Dissolved seals, failed fuel pump, cracked evap lines. Repairs that dwarf the original problem. Don't touch this one. Mistake 3. Seafoam in the fuel tank. Seafoam is a legitimate product, but there's a critical misunderstanding about how it works. When you add seafoam to your fuel tank, it travels through the injectors and into the combustion chamber, where it's burned. It does a solid job cleaning fuel injectors and upper cylinder deposits. Real benefit there. But here's the problem. By the time that mixture has gone through combustion, the seafoam is gone, incinerated. It never reaches the catalytic converter. If you want seafoam to help the exhaust system, you need the intake spray method, which we'll come back to. But the tank method, it stops at the combustion chamber. Mistake 4. Vacuum line ingestion. This one is genuinely dangerous. The idea is to suck liquid cleaner through the brake booster vacuum line, creating a steam cleaning effect through the engine and exhaust. Some mechanics actually do a controlled version of this professionally. The risk for a DIY attempt is hydrostatic lock. If too much liquid enters the cylinder at once, it doesn't compress the way air-fuel mixture does. The piston tries to compress it anyway. Something has to give, and what gives is usually a connecting rod. That's an engine rebuild, or a write-off. Leave this one to professionals with the right equipment. Here's something most mechanics won't bring up. A significant number of P0420 codes are not caused by a failed catalytic converter at all. They're caused by a lazy oxygen sensor.
Your engine uses upstream and downstream O2 sensors to monitor combustion efficiency. If the upstream sensor starts reading incorrectly, reporting a richer mixture than is actually there, the ECU interprets the converter as inefficient and throws a fault code. The converter is fine. The sensor is lying. A downstream O2 sensor replacement runs $30 to $80 in parts. Compare that to a $1,400 converter job. Before you do anything else, pull the code, check which sensor is flagging, and consider replacing the O2 sensor first. It resolves the CEL in a meaningful percentage of P0420 cases. If you found that useful, hit the like button. It helps more drivers find this information before they walk into a shop blind. Now, for the cases where the converter actually is carboned up, here's what actually works. Section 3. The chemistry that reaches the exhaust. There's one class of chemical that can actually survive combustion and make it to the catalytic converter intact. Polyethyramine, PEA for short. Most fuel system detergents break down under combustion temperatures. PEA is thermally stable enough to pass through the combustion event and reach the exhaust in an active form. Once there, it chemically attacks the carbon and phosphorus deposits coating the substrate. This is why PEA-based cleaners are used in top-tier fuel standards, the specification major automakers endorse for reducing intake and combustion deposits. The exhaust side cleaning effect is a secondary benefit, but it's a real one. What you want is a concentrated, pure PEA cleaner, not a multi-chemical blend where PEA is a minor ingredient buried in the formula. There's also a more direct delivery method, aerosol cleaners designed to be sprayed directly into the air intake. This bypasses the fuel tank entirely. The chemical goes straight into the intake, through combustion, and into the exhaust at a higher concentration than a tank additive can achieve. More targeted, more effective for exhaust side deposits specifically. Some mechanics use this method as a professional decarbonization service. You can do a controlled version yourself, but follow the product instructions exactly. Volume and spray rate matter. Now, chemistry alone isn't enough. To actually burn the deposits off, you need heat, serious heat. Section 4. The physics, forced regeneration. Diesel vehicles have a feature called forced regeneration, a process where the engine deliberately raises exhaust temperatures to burn off particulate filter deposits. It's in some owners' manuals. It's a known engineered process. Gasoline catalytic converters don't have a formal equivalent, but the physics still apply. At around 800 degrees Celsius, carbon deposits on the converter substrate combust spontaneously. The converter effectively self-cleans if you can get it hot enough and keep it there long enough. Normal highway driving at cruise RPM doesn't do it. You need sustained high load. Driving up a steep gradient in a gear lower than needed, keeping RPM in the 3,500 to 4,500 range under load, pushes exhaust temperatures significantly higher than cruise conditions. 10 minutes of this gets the substrate genuinely hot. And then there's deceleration fuel cutoff. When you lift completely off the accelerator in gear, no clutch, not in neutral, modern ECUs cut fuel delivery entirely. The engine keeps spinning, driven by the wheels through the drivetrain, but no fuel is injected. What flows through the exhaust instead? Pure oxygen. A superheated converter, suddenly flooded with oxygen, creates an oxidation reaction. Carbon, which is essentially fuel, reacts with that oxygen and burns off the surface of the substrate. This isn't theory. Deceleration fuel cutoff is a documented ECU strategy in every modern fuel-injected vehicle. The oxygen flush into a hot exhaust is a real physical event. The protocol combines them. The 20-minute thermal phase protocol. This is the part worth rewinding. Step 1. Chemical preparation. Add a double dose of a pure PEA-based fuel system cleaner to a quarter tank of fuel. The low fuel level means the concentration in each liter of fuel is higher.
More PEA per combustion cycle means more reaches the exhaust. Do this before you drive, ideally the night before, so it mixes properly. Step 2. The thermal phase. Find a highway or open road where you can drive safely at higher RPM. In an automatic, use manual mode or a lower drive setting. In a manual, hold a gear lower than you normally would at highway speed. Target 3,500 to 4,500 RPM under moderate load, not flooring it. Sustained, controlled high RPM driving. Hold this for 10 minutes.
You're doing two things simultaneously. The PEA is chemically attacking carbon bonds in the exhaust. The sustained high exhaust temperature is getting the substrate to the point where oxidation becomes self-sustaining. Step 3. The oxygen flush. While still at speed, fully lift your foot off the accelerator. Stay in gear. Do not touch the clutch or shift to neutral. Hold it for 10 to 15 seconds. The ECU cuts fuel. Pure oxygen moves through the exhaust. The superheated, chemically weakened carbon deposits hit a wave of fresh oxygen. They burn off. Step 4. Repeat. Accelerate back to 3,500 to 4,000 RPM under load. Hold 10 minutes. Lift off for 15 seconds. Run this cycle 3 times. Total time, roughly 20 minutes of active driving. This isn't magic. It's forced regeneration combined with chemical assist and deliberate oxygen injection. Each element reinforces the others. If your converter's substrate is physically cracked, melted, or the precious metals are spent, this won't fix that. That's a replacement job, and no amount of driving will change it. Get a proper diagnosis first. Let's recap quickly. Premium fuel doesn't reach the converter. Acetone destroys your fuel system. Seafoam in the tank burns up before it gets there. Vacuum line ingestion, engine destruction risk. What works? A pure PEA cleaner, sustained high RPM driving to build exhaust heat, and deliberate deceleration fuel cutoff to flush oxygen through a superheated substrate. Check your O2 sensor first. A $40 sensor has resolved a P0420 code more times than mechanics want to admit. If this saved you a trip to the shop, or at least made you ask better questions before you walked into one, subscribe to Auto Mastery. We put out real mechanical knowledge, not myths. Like this video if you're leaving with something you didn't know before, and drop a comment below. Which of those 4 fixes have you actually tried? No judgment. Most of us have done at least one. See you in the next one.